Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 20. More letters and other side. Now, as I was saying, Commander, to deal with the rising Hydra problem to the south, I have already... Oh. Oh my. Celestia turned pink, much like the toys sold in stores that they still haven't fixed yet. She burped again and again as a total of 4 scrolls popped from her mouth in green flame and sat on the table. Princess, are you alright? A guard adorned with medals and such asked. Yes, Commander, it seems to have passed, although I now have things I must discuss with my sister. Know that the problem on the frontier will be taken care of in short order. Please excuse me. Floating the letters towards the reading room, Princess Celestia started a fire in the hearth and called her sister to her. Look, Lulu, we have more mail. And the reason you got me up 3 hours before I had to raise the moon? Luna asked with a frown. Because it's not from Twilight. At hearing that, Luna was wide awake and literally jumped into position on the couch, excited to see what Public Enemy number 1 had written them. Sister, aren't we getting a little excited to see what we're getting from the most wanted criminal in Equestria? Celestia asked. Who cares? It's fun! Open it! Open it! Open it! Open it! All right. First one's for me. Dear Princess Celestia, you are a terrible liar. If you don't know, then just say so. I'm not here to judge. Also, it's not fun if I just tell you what I'm doing. You have to figure it out on your own. Let me guess, you had Twilight do it. Also, when you sent me the letter, I burped it out like Spike. What's up with that? Also. If a unicorn sits in a chair, then uses magic to lift said chair, will they be able to fly? Sincerely, Griffin. No, I didn't ask Twilight to figure out his motives. I really should. She's a bright filly. He figured out that we were lying to him on the hooves and magnets thing. It was kind of a weak lie. He burped the letters out like Spike. That's hilarious, Luna giggled, imagining the grumpy and stern pirate captain burping up scrolls. If a unicorn sits in a chair, uses magic to lift up the chair, would they fly? Well, wouldn't they need a solid point to push off? I mean, whee! Cried Luna as she sailed around the Sidonian circles on a flying chair, coming ever closer than farther from her sister until she crashed into a shelf and buried herself in fallen books. That was fun! I'm glad he keeps asking us these questions. I swear, you are such a fool sometimes. Now, the next letter is... Huh? Celestia was startled as another letter appeared, this time the normal way. She opened it and read. Dear Princess Celestia, in regards to Griffin the Griffin, I believe I have determined his goal. He intends to incite a slave rebellion to free griffins from captivity in Gem Fido, and murder a large number of dragons in order to decrease the population, which will in turn stabilize the northern provinces. There must be another, non-violent way to achieve this, and we have set out after the Griffin pirates in an attempt to sway them to peaceful means. We have also discovered that in all likelihood, Griffin is actually an alien who came to our world to escape his own, only to find that outside of Equestria the same as the world he left, and so decided to do something about it. This, however, is only a theory, and while the probability of the existence of aliens is unlikely, it is possible, and this theory, at the moment, makes the most sense. Wish us luck on our quest. Sincerely, your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle. P.S. I am unaware as to the mechanism behind how we hold things without fingers. While I believe it may be a magic field similar to magnetism centered around the hoof, I must run more tests. Magnets, however, work by having unpaired electrons all spinning in the same direction, creating a field. I did not have to research that. It was in Atomic Physics 101. After reading the letters, both princesses sat there in awe. So, even Twilight doesn't know for certain how the hoof thing works. And Griffin had the foresight to assume that he would attempt to figure out his motivations. But an alien? Has Equestria been visited by beings from another world? If true, this is incredible and also disturbing. If Griffin truly is from a different planet, the fact that he is here means that others could also find their way. In the worst-case scenario, it would mean invasion. I don't believe that is the case, however. Twilight does have an overreactive mind. There is a reasonable explanation for all this, we just haven't found it. No point in berating her on her theories, though. We'll just have to capture him and get his answers straight from his beak, the Sun Princess mused. All right, so the next letter, then. Also for me. Well, aren't I popular today? Dear Princess Celestia, I met your son today. Discord locked him up for 2,000 years after a misunderstanding. What kind of a villain locks up a family for 2 millennia over a little spat? Anyway, that's not the point. Do you like bananas? Sincerely, Griffin. At this point, Luna's face was blank while Celestia was near tears. Chelly? The younger asked. How dare he? She boomed. Sister? Griffin the Griffin is a menace to society. He must be punished. Calm down, it's all right. It's all right, listen, it's okay. What happened between us is over, and it was much more than a little spat. You did what you needed to. I wasn't myself, and you tore yourself up over it for far too long. I already forgave you, even though there was nothing to forgive. His words may be hurtful, but I think if we look at it, this is his way of telling us to let go. All of his letters have been attempts at trying to break us, make us let go of ourselves. This is something we need to let go of. Luna cooed her older sister. Having to banish her only friend in the world for 1,000 years was still a terrible wound on her heart. Something Griffin had so casually opened up. I'm sorry for that outburst, Luna. It's just... sending you away was the hardest thing I've ever done. And he's making a mockery of it. That and the fact that Discord took away the only other family I've ever had being brought up, all the while with the wet Hydra problem, it's not easy. Every pony looks to me to know what to do, and I have to make the right decisions every time, or else the innocent suffer for it. Countless times I've looked to the others, stars in the skies, and begged them, tell me what to do. And they never answer. Celestia poured her heart out. It's all right. I'm here now, and your son has been freed from whatever bound him. It's time to look at a brighter future, Luna comforted her. Disarray, you just left one day and didn't say anything. I always wondered where you went. Even if I never showed it, I loved you. You were my son. If Discord locked him up, it was because he tried to stop him from destroying the world. Then we sealed Discord in stone. I haven't seen my son in 2,000 years. It's good to know that he's okay. Celestia wept bitterly. She would never show her emotions to others. This was the one time she broke down. Well, that explains why you burped out the letters, Luna giggled. Celestia caught the giggles from her, and pretty soon they both began to laugh, having forgotten the pain the letter had brought them. All right, one for you. Dear Princess Luna, have you ever mooned someone? Sincerely, Griffin. Luna just blushed furiously while stuttering incoherently. How did he know about that time you were a filly at flight school? Celestia mocked. You swore you would never speak of that again. He truly is a menace, Luna scoffed. Celestia began laughing for the first this time. All right, last one. This one is written differently. Odd. Dear Princess Celestia, where I come from, there is a saying to those who find themselves graced with the opportunity to do great things. Speak softly, but carry a big stick. Well, I can't speak at all, and my spear is taller than me. It's unlikely that you have heard of me, and I could care less if you have. I do not bow to your sovereignty, as I am not a natural-born denizens of your realm. Now that that is out of the way, I'd like to move on to something more important. I am exploring your territory, Princess, and I mean the entirety of it, in the name of science and exploration. Should you see fit to assist me, I would not turn it down, and all findings and observations recorded on the expedition will give a small tribute to you. I look forward to encountering you one day, and I hope that we may meet as friends, for we have much to discuss indeed. Oh yes, before I forget, my feathery compatriot here, one Griffin the Griffin, odd name, is it not, has asked me to mess with you. As always, I love a good joke, and I shall oblige. Have a riddle. I have 2 coins. They add up to 30 bits total. One of them is not a nickel. Sincerely, Echo the Diamond Dog. P.S. Luna is best pony! Wah ha 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 ha! And now a diamond dog is sending us letters as well? The older princess stated. I thought they were illiterate, the younger asked. They are. This Echo seems rather well refined for a pony, let alone a diamond dog. Perhaps because he is a mute, Celestia suggested. Indeed, with his writing, it sounds as though he's insulting us, while at the same time remaining respectful. He says he does not care about us, then indirectly asks for assistance in exploring our realm. Curious. Now the riddle. I have 2 coins. They add up to 30 bits total. One of them is not a nickel. If one is not a nickel, then how do they add up to 30? We have no 15-bit coins, Celestia thought. He said one of them is not a nickel. So one's a nickel, the other is a quarter. Come on, you can't have lost your wit, have you? The Night Princess asked. Aha. And Luna is best pony? What? Celestia raged. First Pipsqueak and now Echo the Diamond Dog. Looks like I'm the new favorite. Better look out, sister. Pretty soon I'll be replacing you. Wah-ha-ha-ha! With that, Luna walked out of Celestia's study, swishing her tail merrily at the fact that she now had 2 admirers. Meanwhile, just outside of Ponyville. Toi, are y'all sure this was a good idea? We're 12 days away from Stalliongrad. I mean, there's a pair of Griffins. They can fly, we can't. They're gonna be traveling faster than us. How do you expect us to catch them? Applejack asked. Yeah, I mean, I could be there in like a minute, but I got you slowpokes holding me back, Dash bragged. Quite this instant, Rainbow Dash. You are the fastest flyer in Equestria. Just because you are more expedient than the rest of us does not make us slow, Rarity scolded. We'll just have to outsmart them. We'll head to where they're going so that we arrive before they do, Twilight proclaimed. Except that we don't know where they're headed, Applejack, ever the voice of reason. Well, they went down to the east coast. If we are right about their plan, they'll head west. There's a small settlement at the stage of the volcanic wastes, a hot spring giving fresh water, the sulfur making for excellent plant growth. It's actually why the jungles grow so well without ponies looking after it. They probably stopped there before heading to Equestria and finally Gem Fido. Now, the wastes are normally a haven for criminal activity, but... Twilight explained before trailing off. But all those ghastly dragons migrated there. They will have all skipped town. I hope that criminal filth get caught. It also means that we'll have him trapped between a rock and a hard place. Or a dragon and a group of ponies in this case. Then we can nab him and haul him back to Canterlot to face his crimes, the purple unicorn decreed, taking a dramatic stance as her mane blowed in an unseen breeze. I hope he isn't mean, Fluttershy whimpered. Oh, trust me, he's mean. He's a great big mean meaty pants. He's also funny. I asked him if he wanted to be my friend, and he said, I'm afraid not. And then he threw me, afraid not. Pinky giggled as she shook the piece of rope in her mouth like a wild animal. Pinky, that doesn't even make any sense. How can he bear one of the aspects of friendship like laughter when he doesn't have any friends? I mean, he's an unkind, greedy, grumpy, disloyal, lying pirate. I can't believe I actually thought he was telling the truth with his alien thing. He probably knew I'd freak out, and he used it to escape with my books. Twilight was mad. All the rest just nodded. Griffin symbolized the exact opposite of the very things they cherished. Here, Echo, you want some gems? I sold most of the supply to the town for bits, but I saved some for you. Well, you and my own hounds, they deserve a break every now and then. Oh, no, I won't let you pay for it. It's a gift for thinking of killing you. Well, once we save the town, I'll have to leave right away. I'll probably get chased out by the reinforcements coming, and besides, I don't want to seem like a hero. Last thing I need is some kiddos going around playing pirate. It's dangerous, and I don't want anyone getting hurt who doesn't need to. Don't worry. When we get out of the thick of things, you can count on me. I won't leave you hanging. Our kind gotta stick together. Mayor thinks I'm still gonna off you in the Hydra fight. I feel kinda bad about lying. What are you gonna do, right? Rockin' a hard place. I'd gotten drunk for the first time. I've had alcohol before, but never in excess. Having found another brony was a cause for celebration. And so Gilda and myself went back to Wethoof for a small party in the barracks. Echo had hard cider while I settled for vodka. Cider burns my throat, and so I don't care for it. Vodka, however, is one of the greatest things ever invented, especially when you're drunk on it. Gilda wasn't too happy about me giving away the gems, but considering I was the one who had earned them, and I let her buy whatever she wanted anyway, she bought a biker jacket and a bandolier for chems. She looked freaking hot in it. Other than that, we bought 6 pairs of sunglasses, one for each of my crew and one for Echo. So she wasn't really in any position to complain about me getting drunk or giving him most of the remainder of our unconverted income. She actually loosened up a bit. Daring was a bit daring and took to chugging, which caused her to pass out and landed her a one-way ticket on the Hangover Express tomorrow morning. Echo didn't seem at all fazed by the alcohol, and Ginger Snap, who was now out of the hospital, didn't look too impressed at the fact that we were all getting plastered before the important job tomorrow. She kindly informed me that Trixie would be out of the med tent in another day or so. Even Tithus joined us for a bit, although, being a stick in the mud, he only had one drink before hitting the sack. All in all, it was a good evening. Okay, so I've never had any friends to hang out and go drinking with, and I may have gone a bit overboard. Sue me. Actually, don't. My brain will punish me enough when I wake up tomorrow. Another good thing about Equestria, no licenses. It's a good thing, too, or else I would have been pulled over for flying under the influence. Me and Gilda flew ditzy-doo style back to the camp, threw Etch and Growl the rest of the gems, telling them to knock themselves out, curled up, and went to sleep. Okay, so we pass through America, we head west to Pittsburgh, then follow up the shore south to Tailton Springs. Then we just keep an eye out for them. Here's hoping we get there before they do, Twilight explained to the rest of the group. Ever wonder why all the cities and towns and stuff are pony-related names? Ponyville, Trottingham, Canterlot, Hoofington, Pittsburgh, America, Tailton Springs? It's like the pony in charge of naming things thought it would be funny to put pony puns in all of them, Pinky asked. Pinky, I think it's better to not ask those questions, or else you end up spending your entire life trying to figure it out, getting nowhere. Then you wind up crazy, Twilight explained. Like Lyra? She asked. Like Lyra. She confirmed as she folded the map and put it away. Wait a minute, where did I put that? I don't have saddlebags on. Gah! If I ever find out who asked the princess about that hoof thing, I swear, I don't know what I'll do. Now I'm seeing everything like that. I hope I'm not coming down with something. Must have been the alcohol. Ugh, great. Mr. Migraine is here. Crap. As I got up, I noticed that in the middle of the night, Gilda had cozied up to me. Probably not meaning to. Cute nonetheless. My brain kicked in that I was falling for the bitch Griffin that just about everybody hated, but they hadn't seen this side to her. I have. I stretched myself out, drank the dew off a banana leaf, and once it was dry, put it over her as a blanket. I took my dragon teeth out, as well as several leftover bits of reinforced thread that Etch and Grell had gotten back when I first made my harness. I carefully put holes in each of the teeth, threading a string through each. 8 necklaces. There were 3 teeth on mine, each of the others having only 1. I put one next to Gilda, one next to Etch, one next to Growl, and put one in my pack for Trixie when I saw her tomorrow. I had 3 left. So, 8 members total. 3 more. I need a potion maker, that's 1. What's missing? I need 2 more. What is missing? We don't need a musician. After all, the endless charm of my singing voice shall serve as that purpose. And here just about everyone breaks into song anyway. The music comes on its own. I suppose we could use a chef, but it's not really necessary since I can do that too. A doctor! We need to have a medic! Although the potion maker might double as that. Depends on what I can get. and a craftsman, pony, dog, whatever. Someone to make and maintain arms and armor. So, apothecary slash alchemist, doctor, and crafting specialist. 3 more crew members. Ugh, of course they have to know how to fight too, or they won't be very helpful. What you thinking about? Gilda got up. Apparently the banana leaf blanket made her too hot. Crew members, put the necklace on. It means you're part of the crew. 1 for you, 1 for me, 2 for the dogs, 1 Trix, remainder 3. 1 for the potion maker, yet to meet. 1 for the one who knows how to heal. 1 for a crafter, crew complete, by the worker of leather, stitch, and steel. You're speaking in rhyme again. You're worried, aren't you? She asked. Yeah, not about fighting the Hydras. We'll kick ass. I mean, we have sunglasses now. It's impossible to lose. I'm worried about Trix. What I'd really like is for her to get better, then we kill the Hydras and bail before the reinforcements arrive. We've been lucky so far. Everything has just fallen into place. No, I'm sure we'll pull this off. It's the future I'm worried about. Echo's the same as me. He's from the same place, sent here by Discord. I'm not sure about the one who sent me. What other forces are at work here? Are we mere playthings for the Divine? Yeah, I could beat Echo, but that's only because he never had to fight till he got here, and I did. He's an alpha. The other alphas will know how to fight. If they're as strong as he is, I'm gonna die. And now you've gotten philosophical. You're depressed. What happened to go as far as you can, and if you die along the way, then you do? Gilda inquired. Just because I've been around pain and stared death in the face more times than I can count, doesn't mean I'm just gonna walk into it if I can avoid it. In case you didn't know, dying sucks. I've slowly been dying on the inside for years. I have a reason to live now. I have a purpose. I want to succeed. I want to be the one who looks at the corruption, grabs it in my own 2 hands, and snaps its neck. There's a storm coming. If I go sailing into it, I want my ship to be in top shape. I need to step up my game. Give me that damn chemistry book. She passed me the tome, which I flipped through, searching, holding a candle up to it. I began looking for something I recognized, something I knew. When I found it, I let out a near maniacal laugh. Yes! I hissed as I pulled out 2 vials, as well as some basic compounds that I had Etch and Growl dig up for me in their spare time. In the smaller vial, I put aluminum, iron oxide, and sodium, sealed it, and put it in the larger vial, which I then filled with water. My guardian star is the Mythbusters. What does that mean? What did you make? Gilda asked, a little bit afraid of me in my partly drunken state. Do not question drunk science! My outburst woke the rest of the camp. Etch and Growl lumbered over to me to look at what I had made. I quickly told them to put the necklaces on, then had them gather around. You want to see some pretty lights? They all nodded. Gilda airlifted the dogs in the usual manner. We flew a small distance from camp to where a lone tree stood in the middle of the area that had been cut down. That was my target. I flew at it at high speed, throwing the double vial as hard as I could before pulling away. It shattered on the tree, as did the one inside. The sodium mixed with the water, creating a spark, which then caused a reaction with the aluminum and iron oxide. It lit up brightly, causing Gilda and the dogs to cover their eyes while I stared at it with my sunglasses on. After all was said and done, they looked at the smoldering stump that had once been a tree. What the hell? They all asked in unison. When you're drunk, you forget things. Sometimes when you forget things, you remember other things. I got drunk, forgot about my confidence momentarily, but remembered how to make thermite. Thermite is, well, it's basically portable lava. A little creativity on the trigger mechanism, and we now have a very safe bomb capable of melting through steel. If the first vial breaks, then nothing happens. If both do, whatever's in the immediate area and directly underneath gets turned into a steaming pile of molten slag. We will be using these to murder the crap out of everything. They also work as an excellent flare. Aluminum and iron are ridiculously easy to find. All you need to do is make a spark. which is what the sodium in water is for. We can mix it with clay to make it moldable so it can stick in place. Gilda, since you're the ranger, you'll be carrying a lot of them. You dogs, too. You can dig underground so you can act like sappers and spies. Spy. Sapper. Spy, sapper, my dominion! This will chew right through any armor as long as it's not dragon scale. Replace some of your arrowheads with these by sticking the tips into the vial cork. Each of us will carry at least 3 of these at all times for personal use, separate from what we ration out for a supply for each mission. And I'll have some in my pack for Trixie as well. Now get some sleep. Tomorrow, we're gonna fuck up some hydras. I had regained my confidence. Let's see these bastards mess with me when I can turn them into goo with my mind. Not literally, but you get the idea. Gilda flew the hound pair back to the camp, while I just hovered there for a bit, staring at the east. After a while, she came back to me with a worried look on her face. You're still worried, aren't you? Not about today, but the future? A little. She wrapped her arms around me as the sun just barely began to rise. Let's get back to camp and get some shut-eye. We have a big day tomorrow. We'll worry about the future when it gets here. When it does, you'll think of something. You always do.